Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's cautions of a brewing war in Africa could possibly happen amid alarming tensions in the said continent. In fact, an ex-presidential aide of ousted leader Mohamed Bazoum raised a potential all-out African war if a military intervention would happen in Niger. Here's my report. An intervention by the ECOWAS in Niger risks a conflict on a continental scale. This is what Antenegar al-Hassan, ousted leader Mohamed Bazoum's ex-presidential aide, said in a Russian media interview on Wednesday. According to al-Hassan, and I quote, "I don't think ECOWAS will make the mistake of intervening militarily in Niger, because if they intervene militarily, that means all of Africa will be at war." It can be remembered that various countries, including Burkina Faso and Mali, promised to come to Niger's defense, saying that any foreign intervention in the country would be considered as a declaration of war against them. Bazoum was arrested on July 26 by Nigerian military men led by General Abdurrahman Tiani. This prompted ECOWAS to threaten Niger that they will deploy troops unless Bazoum is reinstated, but their deadline expired on Sunday. ECOWAS also closed borders and stopped all transactions and trade with Niger. But al-Hassan said he is against such sanctions, calling them illegal and illegitimate. Meanwhile, French broadcaster RFI reported that ECOWAS was building a force of about 25,000 troops, and most of them were from Niger's neighboring country, Nigeria. Niger, on the other hand, accused France of setting free terrorists so that they could attack a military camp in the country, and of violating Nigerian airspace as part of their destabilization efforts. France denied the claims and promised to keep their 1,500 French troops in the Sahel region. Reporting, this has been Jayne Codnita, Azimara News. In the latest episode of the Give Us This Day program, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy says he believes that the supply of minerals like uranium, gold and diamonds is the reason why many countries are now meddling in Niger's coup d'etat compared to Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad. Pastor Apollo also highlighted the possibility of a war in Africa if the situation in Niger continues. Sara Santos has more on this report.
On July 26th, there was a coup d'etat in the country of Niger, and Mohamed Bazoum was removed as the democratically elected president of the country. General Abdurrahman Tiani of the Presidential Guard then elected himself as the country's new leader. This prompted the United States, France, the United Nations, and the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, to meddle in the country's affairs. To recall, other countries such as Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad had a coup d'etat ahead of the one in Niger. However, in a statement on the latest episode of Give Us This Day on Thursday, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy believes that the abundant supply of uranium, gold, diamonds, and other mineral resources in Niger is the reason why foreign governments are paying more attention to the said country's current situation.
So, nangyari na yung mga, yung mga kudeta ng Mali, kudeta ng yung bansa na yun. Ganda yung pangalan eh. Burkina Faso, Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad. Puro nauna na nagkudita yan eh, hindi pinapansin. Kaya ang Niger, nagkudita. Bakit lahat nakatuon sa Niger? Sabi pa nung isang columnist nila doon, bakit? Kasi ang Niger maraming uranium, maraming gold, maraming diamonds, maraming mga minerals na pwede pang pakinabangan. In fact, ang France doon kumukuha ng uranium supply nila for their nuclear plants o kung ano-ano pa. Pero yun daw Mali, Chad at saka Burkina Faso, hubos na daw ang mineral. Kaya hindi na pinansin. Ngayon, nagkakagulo sila sa Niger because Niger has still that abundant supply of materials that they need. Yun ang narinig ko, ha? Totoo nga siguro.
It can be remembered that ECOWAS gave a 7-day deadline to reinstate President Mohamed Bazoum, something which Niger's coup leaders rejected. In response, Niger also closed their airspace. According to Pastor Apollo, there is a brewing war in Africa.
At saka ang ngayon, ang sa ECOWAS, yung sa economic cooperation between West African States, ECOWAS. Ito yung 15 nations na gustong sumalakay ngayon sa Niger para si Mr. Bazoum, yung president nilang na-depose, ay maibalik. Kaya ngayon, nagigirian na sila ngayon, binigyan sila ng taning na 7 days para i-reinstate si Mr. Bazoum as the elected president na na-depose because of coup d'etat. Pero the Niger coup d'etat leaders are very firm in their stand. Hindi sila papayag. Kinlos nga yung airspace nila. At itong ECOWAS nations under the leadership of Nigeria, si Mr. Tabubo ba yun? Mohamed Tinubu. Walang Pilipino ang apelido. They want to invade and they want to wage war against Niger. They were given a deadline of 7 days. 7 days is over. I don't know what will happen next. But, you know, there is a brewing war in Africa if this goes on.
Recently, coup leaders announced the new government they had formed for Niger, and ECOWAS is currently meeting in the Nigerian capital of Abuja for their next steps. Meanwhile, the good pastor is praying for Niger and all of Africa.
So, idalangin na lang natin magkaroon ng kapayapaan sa lugar na yan at para din sa kabutihan ng mga taga-riyan. We'll just pray for the Africans that they could settle this peacefully and that our prayer is for the Africans to really develop by themselves.
For God and my beloved Philippines, this has been Sarah Santos, SMNI News.